Thank you. Thank you for the feedback, thanks to which I know that my words are not disappearing somewhere in the space. Thanks to your feedback, I know that what I do matters. It matters because if I can encourage you to start improving your life on certain areas, then this is my mission. That's when it's being complete. I want you to know that I'm grateful that some of you take me for walks, some of you are taking me for jogging, or to the gym, or you listen to me before you go to sleep. Thank you for another reason too, because thanks to this podcast, you're also supporting me. You're supporting me in something that was and something that I'm still working on, that limits my full potential. Hi. For those of you who are here for the first time, my name is Sylwia. I like to call myself a creative coach. And my mission is to support you in really, truly acknowledging your full potential. Today, I'm inviting you to episode 9. The subtle art of letting go. In this episode, we will answer the question, why is it all for, this letting go? What are the things that we can let go of to live better lives? We will also see if it's for those who are strong or weak. We'll also see what to let in if we decide to let go of. And as you probably assume, I will give you this one tool that can be of help if you decide that you have things to let go of. At the beginning of this episode of Thriving Life, I suggest that we start from answering, why is it for? This letting go. And we can look at it in two ways. Choose the one that sort of resonates with you more, that you understand more. So one way of looking at it is that, imagine you have a bottle, okay? And this bottle is you. Now, if you want to introduce something new to your life, new experiences, new skills, new abundance, okay, or more abundance, I shall say, it makes sense that you empty the bottle with the things that you no longer need, so that you can fill it in with the things that you want. Another way of looking at it is letting go lets us connect, or maybe I should say reconnect with our wisdom. It helps us to connect to the divine or higher power, whatever we call it. You can find your name for that. But what I mean is to let go of things that spoil your vibe, that spoil your energy, that make it to go off the track that you would like to be at. Let's see what feels us that it's unwanted. Or maybe in a different way I should put it. Let's see what fills our bottle unnecessarily. What are the things that stop us from really enjoying our existence? As I told you at the beginning, you are supporting me in letting go of this one thing through me recording this podcast and you giving me your feedback. I will start from perfectionism. I call it a killer of creativity. The reason I'm starting with perfectionism is that I know it. I've been there, I've done that. As a young being, as a young girl, I was also having great marks at school, great grades. That didn't change when I grew up. I finished good London University with merit. All my life was focused around being perfect, or the desire of being perfect. Now, why I consider that a burden instead of the booster of thriving life? Like I said, it kills the creativity because it is something that stops me from sharing what I already know. Or, well, I'm at this stage where it doesn't stop me, but it did stop me for a long time. Most of my ideas were not good enough. Even when I was writing my thesis, the first or the second, it was I never felt that the work that I was producing was good enough. Even though I not always, but most of the time, had really great marks. Why I'm saying this feeling of perfectionism was stopping me? You're gonna say, well, you had good marks. Yes, but at the same time, the price that I paid was really high. I was stressed when I was even thinking about the project I was doing. I was sabotaging myself. I was spending lots of time on improving it, even though it was good enough already. In my professional life, I was doing the same. When I was a teacher or when I was training people in companies or doing different projects, I used to confuse perfectionism with professionalism. The outcome was the same as when I was studying. The clients were happy, but I was drained. I was doing the work double or triple, and what's more, I was losing different business opportunities because everything had to be perfect. There was little scope for this curiosity, experimenting. I'm sharing this with you because this This perfectionism, it's something that concerns many of us. I can see it now at the private sessions that I have with you, or at least with some of you. And I can see how this blocks you, the way it used to block me. What are other things that are a burden instead of a booster of thriving life? Okay, need to please people. That would be number 2 if we had to give numbers. Need to please people. I mean, think about yourself. What things do you do that are in line with you and that come from you? And what things you do to please others? Again, I have lots of experience in pleasing others, as many of us do. I wouldn't like to generalize, but many of us are taught to be good, are taught to be nice. We're being brought up to be people's pleasers. And nobody really is explaining that or maybe, let's go back, nobody used to explain this, at least in my environment, that pleasing people needs to have certain limitations. If some things are not in line with you and you do them only because you are getting the appraisal from other people, this is not good enough to be as a recipe for good fulfilled life. The need to please, it comes from the desire of being accepted. It comes from the fear of being rejected, we can also say. The need to please people is very closely related also to comparison, which is another thing that stops us or slows down our using our wisdom, implying our wisdom in life, in being brave. The comparison, I would like to define it or explaining on this example. For those of you who like cars, okay, imagine we compare Ferrari to, or any sport car, to a big SUV. Okay, now to understand how comparison makes really no sense is asking yourself, what's better, Ferrari or SUV? Well, it depends where we are. It depends what we currently need. If we are driving a Ferrari at a nice, wide circuit that is adjusted to this, to racing cars, yes, we can go for Ferrari. We're gonna be, I love driving, so that would be amazing, right? This would be something that matches our expectations. However, let's imagine that we're now up in the mountains. The roads are steep. There is maybe some mud. So, are we really gonna choose Ferrari? Of course not. We're gonna choose SUV, 4x4, right? And that's the same with us. Comparison of the two people doesn't make sense because everybody has different expectations, different needs. We have different purpose of our drive, of our ride, of the journey. what is another burden that we could let go of to fly higher? Toxic relationships. If you are surrounded with people, whether that be professionally or in your private sphere, check what your conversations are focused around. I will not go into too deep in this episode about into toxic relationships, but one of the the basic signs that you are in a toxic relationship is that every time you finish talking to this person, you are less motivated. You have less energy to produce, to do things. You have less courage. To put it super short, toxic relationships evoke fear and not being brave. Healthy, sound relationships encourage you to try, to keep on moving further. And toxic relationships encourage something again that something that it's called self-doubt. If you have amazing ideas, if you're a creative person, if you have all those things, but you also have self-doubt, you will stop yourself from exposing and sharing your gifts. Self-doubt is only another tool for us to sabotage ourselves. Another amazing tool that will definitely stop your development will be looking after things that you have no control over. We've mentioned that in previous episodes, that this is the easiest way of wasting time and wasting your energy. Worrying or dealing with things, thinking about them, about the things that you do not have any control over. Note, the things that block our development that we should let go of are perfectionism, the need to please everybody, comparison, toxic relationships, self-doubt, and putting attention on the things you have no control over. Is letting go the art of the weak or the strong people? Okay, let's start from what do you need to let go of things? You definitely need the courage. What you may feel, and if you use one of the blockages that we talk about, you definitely experience fear. So for you to transfer this fear into something that will be beneficial for you, it takes courage. So ironically, letting go demands or requires you to be brave enough to do that. Hermann Hesse, a Swiss poet born in Germany in the 19th century said, "Some of us think holding on makes us strong, but sometimes it is letting go." So now we know exactly what to let go of. But what should we let in? I'm a huge fan of the KISS method, which is keeping it short and simple. That's why I propose 3 things for you: the acceptance, appreciation, and curiosity. Acceptance, it's not being passive. Acceptance is saying, okay, I'm ready to live in the truth. I'm ready to face it. I'm ready to step outside the denial. Acceptance will definitely let you let go of perfectionism, self-doubt. Because with acceptance, there is no room for perfectionism or self-doubt or the need to please other people. By accepting yourself and your situation, you say, okay, I know I'm in charge. I know that I'm enough. I know that my life is the outcome of my decisions. And I know that I can set the new direction of my road, of my journey. This mixture of acceptance and appreciation lets you acknowledge your situation, lets you identify, remind yourself how amazing you are, how unique, what you've been through and what you've achieved. It will also let you prepare the strategy for coping with different things, especially the challenges that we're given by life. It will help you to accept the unexpected changes that were introduced. It will help you to say, okay, I can see that what I'm missing is this skill or that skill, or if I improve my ability of time arrangement, for example, I'm gonna boost my life. I'm gonna be more fulfilled. I'm gonna be capable of achieving what I really care about. And the last but not least is curiosity. Curiosity lets you be a dreamer and lets you pursue your dreams. It lets you to take lessons and see things that, instead of failures, it lets you to see things as lessons. What else can I learn about myself? What else can I learn from others? There's no scope for comparison. There's a scope for inspiration. Okay, enough of theory. Let's move on to practice. I'm recommending you to take part in this exercise. That can be a great tool in case any of the blockers that we've mentioned before get you. Let's choose one for the time being, but you can do it with the rest too. There is also another thing that's worth mentioning. The more you know yourself, the easier it will be for you to keep on the right track of your development, of your fulfillment. What values are most important for you? I'm gonna throw just a few for your consideration. What matters to you? Is it accountability, adventurousness, ambition, assertiveness, fairness, maybe experiment, practicality, reliability, security, serenity, or maybe it's health, or unity, or vitality. There is much, much more to add, but think about your values before you proceed to the exercise, the tool that I have for you. Welcome to the movie edit. I want you to now choose the burden that you have on you that stops you from pursuing your dreams. It may be the need of pleasing people, the comparison, or maybe toxic relationship you're in, or self-doubt, or trying to control things that are simply outside your control. I want you to take the movie, look for it in your past. What movie is being played when you experience the burden, the limitations that we mentioned, that you chose to work on? If you, for example, experiencing self-doubt, you may think about the scenario where you do not move forward because you're scared of the failure. You do not start the project that you love, that you're with your whole heart, because maybe you failed in the past, or maybe because you have this fear of failure. Now, take this movie and see it. What kind of things you're telling yourself? What do you see? Yes, you can have a look how the failure would look like. What are you feeling when the scenario is not going to be what you were hoping for? Maybe you will not be fully pleased, but wouldn't you get another lesson thanks to which you know more about yourself? You're one step closer to you. Now I want you to stop this movie and change the scenario, change the script. You are now succeeding in the endeavor that you were scared to undertake. You are moving on with your project, and it gives you all kind of abundance. It gives you fulfillment. It makes you wake up in the morning and do your job with a smile and passion. How does that feel? Was it worth it? Every time this movie where that the fear is serving you, consciously put into your mind the pictures that you created just now. Every time you catch yourself writing this negative script, consciously stop yourself and go back to this visualization of the things you are achieving and experiencing after you leave your comfort zone, after you let the fear just guide you through what another challenges you can put ahead. Take another moment if you need. You may pause this episode now and finish your visualization. And keep one picture as your anchor that you will go back to anytime the fear and self-doubt will creep in. I hope you enjoy this episode and that you will find it helpful. If you do, you may consider sharing this episode and this podcast with those who you care about, your friends, your family, so they can thrive in life too. But before I say goodbye for now, I want to tell you that, as I promised, I will be sharing knowledge from different sources. We will be looking at personal development in a very wide way. So I have a huge pleasure to soon invite you to the episode, the 10th episode, which will be quite special because I have a surprise for you. Thank you. Thanks for being here.